Hey, welcome to the 4321 Woodworking Shop. My name is Chris, and today we have a bit of excitement. Finally got this in yesterday. Box from Massca with a pocket hole jig in it, and who knows what else. They said they were going to send a couple of things, so we're going to go ahead and open this box, take a look, get a first impression, and then we're going to use it for a while and then give a review on it. So let's start by just opening the box. I haven't opened it yet. Should just note, they did send me this product for free. However, they asked that I give my honest review on it, and even had me sign that. So that's what we're going to do, is give our honest review. So we got a couple stickers. We're going to have to find some spots for those. And we go ahead, and what we've got here is the Massca Pro Aluminum Pocket Hole System M2 bundle right there. So let me get that up there for you. Let me go ahead and bring it over there, and I will get a close-up of opening this box and see what's inside. So there's the box. Heavy-duty adjustable dust system, stable system. It's got the stabilizing bars. So looks like we have some screws and a clamp included. Let's go ahead and open that up and see what it looks like. As you can tell, I have not looked at this yet, so I've heard good things, but we'll find out. So, packaged nicely. We've got a book there, instructions, all the stuff that's included and everything like that. Go ahead and pull out. There's our screws. Looks like we've got everything from 1 inch to 2.5 inch, so that's nice. I do note that it is the same kind of lid or head here on the 1 inch screws as the Craig ones have, but they look a little wider, so we're going to test that out and see a little later, because that's my one pet peeve on them, is they don't have that washer like the other ones. So I don't know why on the smaller ones. We've got another box here. So, some more pocket hole screws. And we've got a nice clamp. Twist there. Very similar to a one I have from another brand, but also looks a little bigger and a little sturdier. So that'll be nice to try out. Our drill bit, nicely packaged here. Kind of excited to try that out. We've got all of our stop blocks, our driver bit, Allen wrenches, the collar, and a few more screws. A plate, and I don't quite know what that's for yet, but I'm sure once we get to using it, we'll find out. Those are the stop blocks that go on the sides, the unit itself, and the bars. So I will go ahead and get this unwrapped, and we'll show you what it looks like here in a second. First impressions, it is stout. I mean, it's all metal except for this piece here, which is plastic, and a little bit of rubber there, and the piece for that. But everything else is metal. Very solid construction. You see you can loosen those, go up and down. There's instructions on how to set the depth. We'll go over that when we actually start using it. One of the things is down below here, you get this long Allen wrench. There's 2 screws, one for the left, one for the right. Loosen them up, put the bars in, tighten them down. And that's how those stay on nice and tight. You've also got stops or set blocks on both of these that you can also take this off. This little brass wing nut will come off. And there is, it's long, that's nice. Another hole for it here, depending on which hole you're using. You know, if you go this way, just using it as a set, you can now tighten this back up and set it where you need to. So it's adjustable. Both of them are for you to flip those either way, which is nice. 4 screws here for putting it down on a piece of wood. I know a lot of people like to do that. Some more pocket hole screws came in the clamp box. And I did figure out this piece of metal is for using it as a portable jig, I believe. Yeah, so far, I mean, I'm impressed with the construction of it, the build quality. Everything is very nicely built. Everything looks great. Seems sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead and get to using it. do some practicing, use it for a while, and when we come back, I'll show you how to use this and give you my impressions of it. So we're going to test out this Massca Pocket Hole Jig. We're going to use this cherry to build this footstool. The main reason being is I could use a footstool for my office parlor, so figured it would be a good test of the jig to do that and try something new and use it on hardwoods. So let's get started. First use of the Massca Pocket Hole Jig. Let's go ahead and show you how we set this up and how we get it going and everything like that. So I have gone ahead and mounted it to a board. It's just how I like to have my jigs. I hang them on the wall on the board, then it's got a bracket here. I can clamp it right into the vise. Nothing's gonna move. It's sturdy as a rock. So especially this jig, everything on here is sturdy because it's all metal except for, the drill guide, the plastic, dust collection port, and then a little bit of rubber protections here. So that's it. To initially get set up, we would need to know our thickness of our wood or what we want to set up for. If you didn't know, you can just put it on here, and if you look straight down here on the back side, you can see there is thicknesses. So this here is a 1.5. So let's go ahead and first things first, let's set our stop to 1.5. So go ahead and screw it right out to that line with it clamped in, roughly. Set our stop nut, and we're good. If we put this here, clamps down. So if it's a little loose like that, I didn't come all the way forward, so we'll go ahead and screw it out a little more. Tighten it down. So you want good firm pressure like that, but not too tight. And look, no marring on the wood, we're good there. So if you're getting marring, you've gone too far. But you shouldn't really have to be forcing it down. It should be nice and gentle. So next up, now that we know our 1.5, is if we come down here to the front. So on the front of this, you probably can't read them very well with that angle, that shot, but there's different measurements: 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch. Over here is the metric, 12.7 millimeter, 19 millimeter, 32 millimeter, all the way down. To set this, you just unscrew these two metal brass knobs, take this up, in this case, to 1.5, and go ahead and tighten it back down. So now we are set for a 1.5 inch wood. So you can do anything between 1/2 inch and 1.5. Let's go ahead and show now on how to set the drill guide. And I can also show you, just real quick to touch on it, the dust collection port. So that just goes right onto there like that. The nice thing about this one is that port is screwed on there. I did have one other jig, I didn't review it, but I was using it for a while, made by the Blue Company, and it just clipped on. And with, all of these need a couple adapters for my hose to fit. It's a 2.5 inch, so I've got 2 adapters to get down. And it was a lot of weight, and it just kept on clipping. Well, it's useless if it's on the floor. So well done here by Massca to make sure that stays positioned on there and is held on. So I don't feel like it's in any jeopardy of breaking or anything like that. It's solid, even though it's plastic. It's very, very solid. It's holding the weight, no problem. So we'll see how that works when we actually fire it up. So back up top here, now we're set on the height of the guide. We're going to take our depth gauge, put the 1.5 towards the drill bit area where it'll come through, drop our bit in, grab our collar and put our collar on, and use the small Allen wrench to go ahead and secure the collar onto the drill bit. At that point, we are completely set up and are ready to start drilling holes. We do have our square drive bit here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in my impact now and get it ready. Let's put our first piece of wood in, turn on our dust collection, and see how that goes. We're gonna join these two boards to start just to see. So let's go ahead and drill this out. We're gonna move our guide out, clamp in. We're still 1.5 inch material. Turn on our dust collection. Boy, you could hear that shop vac sucking the wind through there. So look at that. 2 very nice holes. If I sanded that off, that would work well. You know, I did review the one other pocket hole jig, and 2 things about that. It didn't have dust collection. This is really nice. I like the dust collection. I'm a big fan of keeping all that out of the way. And number 2, these came out very nice. The other one was brand new also, and constant tear out there. So let's go ahead and clamp this down on with something. And we'll put a screw in there. We've gone ahead and clamped it down on here. Now if we take handy box safe come with, and there is a chart here, and we look at our 1.5 inch material thickness, we want a 2.5 inch screw. We also want a coarse thread for this softwood. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Grab 2 of our 2.5 inch screws. And I did use setting 1 just because I don't want to overdrive them. Let me unclamp that and we'll see what it looks like. Ooh, that clamp's tight. And that is an extremely strong joint. That is not moving, not going anywhere. Very well done. Now, I'm in the middle of a little different project. Everybody you see that uses these pocket hole jigs put some pine boards together. You know, it drilled out well, it came out well, it went together well. And that's fine. But I want to try something a little different with this, and this is fitting for a project I'm doing, and some may say I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to anyways. And that is, I am building a footstool for my office, and I'm going to pocket hole cherry, hardwood. You always see it on the farm projects and all that, but I'm going to do it with this because I want to get this project done. I want to make it quick and easy, and I think this is the jig to help me do that quick and easy. So let me grab those pieces, and we'll get it set up and show you how that goes. Go ahead and put it in here. So it measures at just over 3/4 of an inch, so we'll use the 3/4 of an inch setting. So let's go ahead and... Perfect. Clamps nicely. We're going to go for our 3/4 of an inch setting on here as well. We're going to adjust our front as well to 3/4. There we go. And we'll turn on our vacuum and go. Okay, I've got my 4 boards here now that I just did on the Massca Pocket Hole Jig, and let me tell you, I'm impressed. The holes are nice and clean. I've used 2 other pocket hole jigs so far, and they've had a little bit of tear out here on these holes. So these came out really nice, very precise, everything held together well. I can tell you another thing. I had the vacuum on. It creates so much suction through here, and I'm using a rigid shop vac with a dust stopper bucket, so I've got a little bit in between, you know, that could be lowering the suction just a touch. But the pieces of wood were holding against the actual jig. Let me show you down here. So right up against here, piece of wood in there, even with it, I would unclamp it. It was like right now, see how it wants to come off? It was not. It was stuck glued on there because of the suction. So another impressive part of that, which means they really have things tightened up in here and it's pulling everything. I don't have any. I mean, there's like 1 piece of sawdust maybe from all of that. You know, when I drilled a bunch of holes, I drilled a couple in some pine just to check that. I mean, that came out great too. So I'm going to go ahead and screw the other parts together. I'll show you that here in a second. Let me get it set up. I'm going to do some sanding on them because it is a final project, and we'll see how it goes together. Okay, we've got everything lined up. We've got our glue in, got our screws. I'm using some fine threaded screws because we're in hardwood here. Let's go ahead and drive these in. I've got it set at 1 so we don't overdrive them. Go ahead and unclamp that. If you look at that, we've got a nice end here. Very nice looking, a little bit of relief, very strong holding together. Nothing's going to pull that apart. So one more test for the pocket hole jig, just to show one other portion of this, the supports. We are going to do a large piece of cherry here. So go ahead and clamp it in here. We've got everything set still from when it was at 3/4. So right now it's sitting on a support over here. Soon it'll be on that one. So let's go ahead and get some holes drilled in there. Again, turned out very nice. Now I'll go ahead and butt that up against another board and glue them together. Okay, to wrap it up, what I want to say on this Massca Pro Aluminum Massca Pocket Hole Jig System M2 bundle. It's an extremely well put together jig. Very thought out, very durable, very well executed. You know, I did review one previous jig that was a little bit less expensive, and I think you get what you pay for. And even though that one was all metal too, it just was not nearly as nice as this one. It left a lot of tear out, had a lot of problems. This one, everything has been spot on. The drill bit worked exceptionally well. You know, it was sharp right from the manufacturer. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go buy another one. It's good to go, which is what you want. It should come out of the box ready to go. And it did. It was all set up, ready to go outside of adding a couple bars for some extra support. The features on it are, you know, it's feature packed with stop blocks, with, you know, the hold down. Everything is very easy, very user friendly, very straightforward to understand right out of the box. You know, I went through the instructions just to make sure I understood it completely before reviewing it. But, you know, if you have any familiarity with that type of stuff, you'll pick this up in no time. Everything is labeled very, very well, which is nice. It makes it very quick and easy for the beginner too to know. I do have to say Massca did send me this jig. However, they wanted an honest review of it, so they are in no way sponsoring me as far as paying me for my review. They just provided the tool so that I could review it. So it is a fully honest review as to how I feel about this product. I would gladly pay for it. It is that good of a jig, that nice. Like I said, I've worked with 3 of them. This is the most well put together, thought out pocket hole jig I've worked with. The other thing that came in the bundle was this nice clamp for putting things together. I didn't show how to use it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward on a clamp. Put 2 boards. If you were pocket holing them that way, clamp them together. It's got a very nice, up here. You know, so you could frame them together like that, clamp them and put them together. One thing I would note is that it does have some very nice large pads on it, the metal pads. I have one other one to clamp like this, and it only has one small one and one big one. I like this better because it will less of a chance of marring the wood. You get a better connection between the two and on both sides. So again, if you like this review, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down below and that like button. Share this with your friends or anybody who might be interested, and share the channel. Definitely go out and check out Massca's products. I'll leave a link down in the description of their website and to this bundle. And as I said, I would definitely recommend it. And it will be staying in, you know, it's the one I'm going to use in my shop. So, you know, I'm not looking for any others. This is the one right here that I enjoy and think will hold up and last the longest, and probably pass down to my kids one day. It's built that well. So thanks. Have a good night.